The road to zero. Are we there yet? Marhaba and welcome back to another episode of Let's Talk Mobility powered by Automotive. Today's episode, we're going to have a sneak peek on Polestar future products. We're going to discuss sustainability and way more.
Do you know how many kilometers can an EV run on a single charge?
I think it has come up to 500 or 600.
500 to 600 kilometers.
200 to 500 kilometers. I think it's around 600-700 kilometers.
Move around 1,000 kilometers.
What's your car? Is it petrol or electric or hybrid?
Now I use a petrol car. I have a hybrid car. Very soon, hopefully, we'll move to fully EV.
Marhaba and welcome to another episode of Let's Talk Mobility. Today here at COP28, I have with me Fredrika Claren from Polestar, coming all the way from Sweden. Fredrika, you're more than welcome here.
Thank you.
How's COP28 so far?
I have to say that I am encouraged. We are, of course, in a climate crisis, a rampant climate crisis. A lot of people are worried. But what I'm hearing here at COP is a lot of constructive talks, which is solutions-oriented, and that's really why we are here as well. We know that we at Polestar stand for a climate solution, and that's what we want to come here and talk about.
It's a big responsibility to be the head of sustainability at a brand like Polestar. Fredrika, from your own perspective, can you give me a glimpse of your role, your responsibilities, the challenges that you're facing day by day?
So it's a very challenging but exciting role, I would say, which feels very meaningful to me. And especially since I get to work at Polestar, which is an impact-driven company where everyone working throughout our global operations and departments are here to make a change. So I don't feel alone in my responsibility. I feel very supported by all of my colleagues. And my work is really to secure that we all focus on what matters, what really drives impact. Because when it comes to sustainability, it can be about everything and nothing. And, we hear a lot about companies, trying to really market themselves in how they work with sustainability. But what we really want to do is be radically transparent, talk about, where we are challenged, not only when we succeed, but also when we are challenged and when we hit hinders, because we believe that in doing so, we can really become, again, constructive and start figuring out problems and really, really bringing out solutions that are of value to us as a company and to our consumers. But it means that we need to focus on what really, really matters and what drives impact.
Is it important for a brand like Polestar to be at COP28?
It is, because we need voices that come here and really shares what we can do. That that really encourages the surrounding world listening into this conference. That we got this. We have the solutions. Because I do think there are a lot of voices that would like for people to feel discouraged, to feel like, sustainable development means going back, means, doing less or compromising with your way of living. But we know that, it's the opposite. Sustainable development is progress for everyone, for business, for your everyday person, for institutions. Everyone will benefit from true sustainable development.
How do you see, Fredrika, from your own perspective, how do you view automotive and sustainability working together, hand by hand, side by side? There is so many challenges taking place in this industry, and the challenges goes from all the way to the production lines, to raw material, to securing infrastructure, a proper infrastructure with less carbon footprint. How do you see sustainability and automotive and with all these challenges?
I see that we are an industry that has something that other industries might not have that clearly.
Other industry.
Other industries. So in the automotive industry, we have a climate solution. We have this technology, electric vehicles, that can actually make the shift happen in terms of sustainable development within a fairly short time frame. So that's very exciting, you know, for the automotive industry to feel that sense of hope and that we can actually do something that is a benefit. But at the same time, that transition puts a lot of responsibility on us in figuring out how to do it in a truly sustainable way. Because even though we know that electric vehicles is a great solution today, if you as a consumer, you choose an electric vehicle over its comparable fossil fuel car, you can have the climate impact of that choice. And that's a massive, impact to have as a consumer today. But at Polestar, we also really now then want to secure that we in the industry focus on the production-related emissions of our cars, because we are moving emissions from tailpipe to production. But also here we have so many tools and solutions. The Polestar 2 hit the market with a carbon footprint of around 26 tons of CO2. So we are assessing the carbon footprint. So the Polestar 2. So in 2020, it had a carbon footprint cradle to gate. So in the production, around 26 tons.
Okay.
We have been able, through measures throughout the model years of that car, to cut 3 tons. So we're down around 23 tons now.
With Polestar 3.
With Polestar 2.
Polestar.
So that's only, improving the car with really actionable measures that we can take. So for example, what we've focused on is to secure that more aluminium is being smelted with renewable energy. That has a huge impact on the emissions of our product. So through focusing on that, we were able to actually shave off 3 tons in 3 years. So as an industry, we have a massive responsibility, but there is so much that we can do. And I do also think that we need to take the opportunity to really look at what other industries have done that has been really accelerating the pace. So for example, the fashion industry has collaborated so much in taking action on supply chain related issues. I would love for that to happen in the automotive industry. We are very siloed. We need to.
If you compare between the fashion industry and the automotive industry, this is how you want to look at it. I found it with fashion, maybe it's quicker since it's more dynamic compared to the automotive. Automotive, I think there is like the production line and the whole supply chain.
It's a complex product, absolutely. But the sustainability issues are the same. If you look at the supply chain, I mean, we are getting materials to the car where we know that the supply chain is riddled with challenges and risk, human rights violations, pollution, and so on. And we need to tackle those together as an industry. It's not enough if one buyer like Polestar is coming to suppliers and asking them to change. That really will not move the needle very much. But if we all come and ask of our supply chain to do change, and we support them in that as an industry, things can move very quickly. And that's what I've seen from other industries. One that I took part in, the fashion industry, had a lot of exciting projects that actually made a pivotal impact on the supply chain.
Which industry do you think that it's more advanced at the current timing?
I mean, when it comes to sustainability, there's no way to benchmark.
Yeah.
That's a very sometimes a bit frustrating thing because we're not measuring sustainability properly like we do finances or sales. We're not actually using the same kind of KPIs and data, and this is a huge challenge for the consumer as well. They don't know how to compare different cars, or they don't even know how to value the sustainability impact of a car versus something else that they buy. So at Polestar, that's why we really want to develop how we use data, and our life cycle assessments that we put out for all of the cars and all of the variants is really a tool for us to help the consumer understand this better, and to see that yes, if I choose an EV, it has a lower impact, but it still has an impact. And I have a role to play in that. If I charge with renewable energy, we can get the emissions down. And by choosing to work with Polestar, or to support Polestar, who is transparent, I really can make my voice heard as a consumer. So it's, to get back to your question, it's really hard to compare, but there's a lot that we can do to get to a point where we would be able to compare each other with other industries and companies, and also consumers could do that.
Okay. Since we're talking about partners, strategic partners, is there like a specific criterias for any partnership that Polestar is planning to have with suppliers, with part suppliers and partners globally? We have like a specific criteria as a Polestar to make sure that they're using this materials, they're not doing this, and they're doing this instead of that.
Yeah, so when we choose our supply chain partners, we have a long list of criteria that we are looking at. We're actually really detailing all of the kinds of sustainability factors that is important to us. So what kind of energy are you using in the plant? How are you working to become more efficient when it comes to your energy use? How are you as a supplier requiring of your sub-suppliers to work in a responsible way? We are also trying to really advocate for increased transparency, especially in the risk material supply chain. So you know that in a battery we have a lot of risk materials, but in a car in general there are risk materials. So it's not only electric vehicles that comes with risks, but for example in batteries we have cobalt, lithium, nickel, mica. Huge challenges.
It has
absolutely
completely different footprint. It has a completely
a lot of risk
process.
Absolutely, and these supply chains, the mineral and metal supply chains, are notoriously opaque. They are not used to share a lot of data and insights with their customers. So what we have done is that we're trying to champion traceability in the supply chain. So for example, in the Polestar 3, which we are looking at, we are now working to trace cobalt, lithium, nickel, and mica through blockchain, which is, very exciting. It's where digital innovation meets sustainability and makes a beautiful child, I would say.
Interesting. When you've mentioned Polestar 3, when shall we expect Polestar 4?
I mean,
the newest model.
I'm so excited. I'm going to love seeing them on the roads next year. That's what I'm really, really excited about. That, we've started the production of Polestar 4 now in China for that market. We're subsequently going to start the production up for other markets as well. So we're progressing in a good way.
Amazing. When we talk usually sustainability, you will have several automotive manufacturers. They will also claim that they're working on sustainable material. They're really heading towards making sure that the CO2 footprint is lowering down. Is it something like green? I want to call it greenwashing. And how do you differentiate Polestar from any other automotive manufacturer who claim to be also into green energy and sustainable energy?
I mean, to be fair, when I look at the players that we have in the automotive industry, they are all wanting to change. And they all have sustainability strategies in place, working to cut emissions. But I think that we have the same problem in the automotive industry, like so many other industries have, where we are chasing the knowledge as companies. We are trying to grasp this very huge area and how to communicate this. I actually think that greenwashing is absolutely real, and it is misleading, and it's doing a lot of harm. But I don't think it's there of ill intent. I think it's there because you have misused information, or you've not realized the full impact of what you're communicating. So I do think that as we learn about sustainability, we will become better at communicating the real situation in companies. And for us at Polestar, we're a young company, and we had the moment where we were able to really choose what we are going to stand for as a company. And we want to really be as transparent as we can, and really challenge ourselves in that as well. It's not easy. It means that you really have to think about what kind of message am I conveying here, and you also have to think about how can I make the consumer curious about this? Because of course, getting a number on the carbon footprint of a car, I don't know if
It's something.
I mean, it's not easy to understand, and maybe the consumer doesn't even know if they want that number. But what we really need to do is make them understand why this number is important, and then be transparent on it. But so it's really about taking the responsibility of leading the change through inspiring and educating consumers as well.
Frederica, I do have a question around the initiative, the Road to Zero. I know that Polestar has several initiatives. They're working in several plans towards zero emissions. Can you give me a glimpse of more facts, more figures around this? Where do we stand right now with this initiative?
So as a company, we have set our road to zero. We want to become net zero in our complete value chain by 2040. And what we have done is create a plan for how to get there with the knowledge that we have today. And we know that as an industry, we have a huge challenge to do this together, of course. We need to work to accelerate the EVs so that we don't sell fossil fuel cars anymore. And being a pure EV player, we're already there with our product. We also need to secure that those are charged with renewable energy, and we're really trying to promote this towards our consumers, that they try to find renewable energy for their charging. And then the third big thing that we need to do, coming back to our roadmap at Polestar, is to decarbonize the supply chains. And we have set the moonshot goal for ourselves to create a climate-neutral car by 2030 to really inspire change within the supply chain and to secure that all of the materials that we need to produce cars in the future are coming from supply chains that have eliminated the greenhouse gases. And we talk about the need for elimination because, you know, there's a lot of offsetting schemes, for example. There's a lot of low-carbon solutions, but scientists are actually telling us that they are not cutting it. We are not getting to true climate neutrality through those measures. The way it looks today, they are not really suitable to use if you want to really change how we produce products. So what we are focusing on
As a Polestar.
Yes, exactly. So to really create this climate neutral car, we are focusing on innovating and researching on how to eliminate the greenhouse gases from the material production. We have a whole project established now for this purpose, the Polestar Zero project. So we have an amazing team of engineers working on the task. We have over 30, I think, announced partners to the project. You know, big industry players, steel makers, aluminium producers, companies working with, bio-based solutions and so on, that really wants the same thing as us, really needs to figure out how can we tap into the innovation potential of climate, and not just make things better, but just really, really adding value to the industry by bringing in new exciting materials.
Since you're the head of sustainability, in one word, Frederica, what does sustainability mean to you?
If I need to pick just one word, I would pick progress.
Progress.
Progress. It's going forward. It's making things better. There are a lot of people, like I said earlier, that want, society to feel like sustainable development is not achievable, that it's all about compromise, it's going back to, the old ways of living. It's absolutely not. It's innovative materials, it's innovative tech solutions, it's better health, it's better welfare, its stability, its robust societies. All of that we achieve with sustainable development.
Thank you very much, Frederica, for your time for the day. Hope you enjoyed this episode with Frederica Claren, the Head of Sustainability at Polestar. Stay tuned for more episodes to come over at Let's Talk Mobility by Al Futtaim Automotive. Thank you very much for watching.